Hey everyone, Tanya from Shooting Star SVG back, and today I'm going to be discussing Marmalead for Etsy SEO or search engine optimization, and how you can use that for your digital design or really anything on Etsy if you so please. Of course, I'm going to be focused on digital because that is what I do, but you can use this tool for anything on Etsy, which is really cool. If you have not already, please go ahead and click like and subscribe below. This keeps me motivated to continue making videos like this. I have recently published or have been working on publishing some more search engine optimization tips and tricks for people selling digital artwork or their passive income opportunities on Etsy. And this is a tool that I have signed up for and have been using for a few days now. I may or may not cancel after the month because it is $19 a month to use this tool. But out of all the Etsy related keyword tools, this is the one I like the most. So when you log into Marmalead, this is what will show up as your search function. There's also in my listings, which I've not worked on any of my listings, by the way, a grade scoring, and I'm going to sort by highest grade first, and we will click on this one. Basically, it will give you a grade based off of your tags, if you have long tail focus keywords, the engagement of your keywords, and if you have long tail tags. Obviously, I don't use a ton of photos in digital design, so that does hurt me no matter what platform I'm utilizing. And it also looks into your descriptions and your readability. I have very canned descriptions, so it's just one of those things. And then when you scroll down on the listings, it will talk about your focus keywords, basically how much how strong your title is. And then for this focus keyword, it will give you how many searches average in a 30-day time period, and the engagement and the competition or the search results. And you can kind of compare this in Etsy right now. If I was to go to Etsy and type in gamer SVG, you can see that there are actually 33,679 results. So this isn't ridiculously accurate. You can see my non-focus keywords here, okay, and the searches and the engagement. And I'll tell you right now, just based off looking at this, my keywords are kind of crappy. Anyways, what you want to do when you are on Marmalead for the first time is you can just search. And we'll start with this theme. We'll go type in gamer SVG. And what this is going to do is it's going to analyze the keyword to determine how many people are searching, how many people are clicking, and how many other people on Etsy you're competing with. I will say it is a tough market for SVG sellers or any real printable seller, because Etsy is really geared towards a lot of homemade items, not so much SVGs and digital downloads, though that is growing. You can see that the searches are fairly low, and you can see here that this is what is expected to generate in the next month. Okay. Marmalead uses forecasting. Marmalead, I'm sorry. And eRank, which is kind of their competitor, uses basically older data to try to forecast out. But they base everything off of actual search volume out of the Etsy platform. So the greener this is, the better it is for searches. Same thing with engagement. Basically, out of all of these searches, how many people are actually clicking, right? So basically for this keyword, you would have 832 people clicking. Here's this part that you want to look at too. The competition. Basically, if you have competing listings, red is bad, green is good, right? You want competition low. So you want high searches, high engagement, low competition. And in the case of, digital design, competition wise, you want to go for things, in my opinion, and this is my opinion. I'm going to talk about myself in the third person. Tanya's opinion is that you want to go for competition of 5,000 or less, preferably 1,000 or less if you can find a sweet new niche. But I always shoot for 5,000 or less because then at least I know my items are quality, bold, easy to cut, decent price. And so that should sway a person to also come shop for me. I have good reviews, 5-star reviews and a good amount of sales. So that will also help you when you have higher competition um, words that you're looking for. So you can see the forecast over time. You can see in the past what these searches have actually been. So for some reason, around July, gamer SVG is searched for quite a bit. Here you can see what the prices are, bargain price, what the mid-range price is, and what the premium price is. And you can see some listings that are out there that have that gamer SVG tag in it. It will also show you the price spread from kind of lowest to highest out of these 100 listings that they're looking at. And then when you scroll down, you will see any of your listings that have that tag in it, and it will rate your title based off of if that tag is towards the beginning of your title, as well as your tags and how your visibility will look. Obviously, you want these all three to be green. So I have some work to do based off of what Marmalead says for this particular for these particular listings for this particular tag, if I'm targeting this certain audience. Then it will give you some sample listings of, certain shops that do well. The first thing I notice on these is that most of them are, well, the first one is a trademark issue because it has a bunch of Fortnite stuff in here. Same thing with this one here. And this one's subjective. You can tell that's a Nintendo Switch, but I probably wouldn't fret too much on that one. So here is an interesting piece that Marmalead provides you. You have popular tags here. And basically what this is doing is it's pulling tags from the listings up here, okay? And it's going to show you how many times out of these 100 listings they utilize different tags. So this is a good way to try to find new tags. So you have gamer SVG, which is what we search for, but then there's video game SVG that was used 36 times. Well, maybe that one is a little bit better than gamer SVG, and people will be searching for this more, or gaming SVG even. So what you can do is you can click on video game SVG, and it will analyze that keyword just like it did gamer SVG. So this can sometimes take you down a rabbit hole. What I usually do when I'm on Marmalead, so I'm not sucking up too much of my time, is I have a notepad or a separate word processing document open, and I will write down these words. So video game SVG, you can see, has horrible searches, horrible engagement, but the competition is pretty low. Okay, so I'm just going to type in here video game SVG and see what comes up. So that is much better than the thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of results that I just got. So I may want to consider putting video game SVG in my other SVGs that are geared towards gamers. So I'm actually going to write that one down now while I'm making this video. Video game SVG, because I'm going to put that in all of my gamer listings, and I will show you a very easy and simple way to do that in another video. So I like that. I can dig it. So again, you can go down, you can look at this, you can look at the pricing spread, and you can see that I have, several listings with that would tie to this particular tag. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. So you can see here's video game SVG. Here's our gamer SVG that we just looked at. There's a game controller SVG. Let's look at this one, gaming SVG. we'll click on that. We'll see if that one, how that one looks. Basically, this is super important for you to do keyword research to make sure that you're using the right kind of titles and tags to be seen on the front few pages of Etsy. Because people aren't going to just sit there and scroll through pages and pages of, okay, so this one's a lot better than video game SVG. All right, so we have a few now: gaming SVG, video game SVG, gamer SVG. Let's see if we can get one more so we can do a comparison. All right, and go ahead and scroll on down. You can see that they have the gaming SVG, which is what we just searched for, the gamer SVG, okay, and the video game SVG. These were the three that we have looked at. And let's see if, so video games SVG is going to be a separate one because that is plural. Let's see if there's another one we can find. Geek SVG. Or Funny Gamer SVG. Let's click on that one and see what this looks like. I would say most of the SVGs for gamers are probably pretty funny because we're all nerds. Sorry, I did take a drink of my water. It is hot as all get out in Georgia. This one has not as much competition, but very low search volume and engagement. So probably not one we want to use. But let's go ahead and type this into Etsy, Funny Gamer SVG. And you can see that this one does not come up with a lot of results either. So I would say you could add that on there. I mean, it's really, less than 2,000. You can scroll through some of these and see that, they're pretty funny. They're not the craziest. Another thing that you can do is click on one of these bestsellers and then scroll down and see what they're using for their tags as well. SVG, they're not even using anything crazy. So, I mean, beats me. But you can see that they have some good words in their title. So you just have to take the time to research these things. You really can't expect to just throw a listing up there and get a ton of traffic and a ton of sales. Your SEO does matter. Okay, so another thing that Marmalead can do. Now we found some keywords that we like. You can go to the comparison tool. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to type in gamer SVG. And I'm going to type in video game SVG. And I'm going to type in funny gamer SVG. And I'm going to type in gaming SVG. What this is going to do is it's going to pop up with all of the results so you can compare what keyword is going to be better for your listing. And I always recommend trying to use long tail keywords. You want to stuff as much as you can in there, okay? But you can really see that the gaming SVG tag has more searches than video game SVG, funny gamer SVG, and it is close to gamer SVG. So I just said SVG so many times. Anyways, if you look at this competition here on the bottom, there's not so much for the gaming SVG. So this is definitely one that I want to use in my listings. And these are ones that I would also consider as well. Though they don't have a ton of searches and engagement at this point in time, the competition is not that high. Whereas gamer SVG has a much higher competition. So if I put in video game SVG, funny gamer SVG, and gaming SVG, because gamer SVG is already in here, I'm going to pop up in this list as well. So I'm going to use these three. I'm going to actually add these to the list. Gamer SVGs. So that's a nice thing. You can add lists. And I'm going to add this to the list. And I'm going to add this to the list. So if you have certain categories for your SVGs, like holidays or Christmas or whatever, you can create lists of keywords that are going to work for your designs, and then you can go back to them just by clicking on my list, right? So another thing that I do when I'm in here is I have designs to start. Basically, I will put in keywords that I find in Marmalead that have high search volume, high engagement, low competition. That way I have an idea of what kind of designs I want to start working on next. And this has been useful for me over the past couple of days to kind of get me out of design block, I guess, so to speak. So the comparison is actually a really good tool. I do recommend it. So go search for some things, compare them, figure out what you want to use. All right. And this is just one example. You can do this for anything. Another interesting thing is called Storm. So we'll just click on Storm. And basically what you'll do is you'll type in your keyword and it will give you a bunch of suggestions, and then you can dump a keyword into your bucket. So this is kind of weird because it's just going to pop up with a bunch of weird suggestions that aren't really related. And I think the reason why is because, again, Etsy is geared more towards handmade items and not really digital, though people do very well on the platform. So I don't really use the Storm tool, but you can. And it could produce some interesting suggestions, or at least a bucket for you to start determining maybe what you kind of want to go towards. So again, the comparison tool and the search tool, for me, these things are a wealth of knowledge. And just based off of this, because I do keyword research maybe 1 to 3 times a week for about an hour, I'll probably keep my subscription with Marmalead. Because I do prefer it over Etsy Rank, because this is forecasted real-time data from Etsy, where eRank is a little bit dated as far as how their data is crunched, from what I understand. But I'm going to do a video on eRank probably tomorrow because it's getting a little bit late tonight, and I'm posting these in succession anyway. I just have to be up at 4:30. So that's what I'm going to go through with Marmalead. Listen, if there's something else in here that you want me to explain in another video, I'm more than happy to go through that for you, but I just wanted to highlight the search and the comparison functions because to me that's worth $19 a month hands down, okay? And just the lists, creating lists for buckets of things as well is very useful for you to get out of your design block and anything else. So that's all I wanted to go through today on Marmalead. Again, if y'all have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. I'm more than happy to go through anything in more detail. I'll create a part 2 video if I need to. Whatever y'all need. I want you to be successful with your shops and moving forward in your Etsy journey. Remember, it is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. And again, if you haven't already, go ahead and click like and subscribe below. If you've made it this far, I also do have a Facebook group that I am growing currently. Trying to create a community where people feel comfortable to ask questions while they're starting out their journey, as well as throughout the journey, because there are a lot of things to learn and digest as you go through. And, every day you should be learning something new and increasing your skills and knowledge on how to be successful. So, yeah, that's all I got for tonight. If you need anything, like I said, feel free to drop a comment below. Click that like and subscribe button. Go on over to my Facebook group and click join. And I hope everybody has a great night. We'll catch you later.